not even going to do it. I know what the answer is.
Fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Sam, do you want to do it?
No, you did the last couple.
Oh, did you? Did you now? I didn't realise we're keeping score. But since we are, welcome to Pacifist Podcast. It's me, Sam, and Jeeves tonight. Sophie can't make it. She's feeling under the weather. Zach has gone dark at the moment on some sort of covert mission, I'm sure. God knows what. But here we are. And we are talking tonight about... Jeeves?
Bucket lists.
Way!
Bucket lists. Yeah. The good old list. Everyone's got one. Everyone wants to do something before they die, don't they?
Yeah.
Most people, more than one. I'd have to say. You know, there's a few things on on my list. Certainly, I'm sure you'd have as well. Being a varied and interesting person, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine getting to, like, I don't know, say the age of 30, 31, and literally having done so much in your life that you've only got one thing, just one thing that you would like to do? That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? Just crazy.
I know. I mean, that's the sort of person that's seen all three movies that are out there. You know.
I'm going to go back on Valhalla in a minute.
Right, so yeah. So before we get into all of that, just a quick ask if you could like and follow and share and all that sort of stuff. Spread the love, please. Do keep doing it because time at the bar. You all right?
Okay. Yes.
If you could do all that sort of stuff because it would really help us out. You know, recommend us to friends, whatever, anything you can to just spread our word, our gospel would be helpful.
The gospel according to Jeeves. And apparently there's a bell button you can press as well, which will give you a lovely little notification when we do something.
And who doesn't get notified of that?
Well, I know I do, Mushi. I live for it. 6
Don't
o'clock.
we all, mate? Don't we all?
Friday mornings, that little ding-a-ling-a-ling goes off on my phone, my tablet, and my watch. All three of them at the same time. Love it. It's like a symphony.
You just can't beat a little ding-a-ling.
No, I love a little ding-a-ling. Of course, that's the Legion of Skanks podcast going off, not this one. But still, such is life.
Little plug there.
Yeah, anyway, bucket list. And also, you may notice that we didn't bother putting a post out today or over the weekend to ask you guys what you think. And I will tell you now why. Because we weren't going to talk about this 2 hours ago. We decided about 15 minutes ago to change the subject matter. So we're all incredibly well prepared. And it should make for a shit show.
Can I just be honest? I don't even know what it was in the first place.
Jeeves, you never do, so it doesn't matter.
I think we normally just go on the assumption that you're going to be clueless, mate. No offense or anything. But
I like that shit. The more clueless, the better. I just like how funny you look. But before we crack on, has anybody done anything interesting this week?
No.
Jeeves?
Downloaded Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh, how is that? I've got some friends playing that game.
I did that as well, to be fair. It's incredible.
I downloaded it because of that dickhead.
That's me.
Oh, you? Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Valhalla this time is about Vikings instead of Jesus ninjas. That's right, isn't it?
The Jesus ninjas... Are you referring to the assassins as Jesus ninjas?
I am because it was set in ancient Jesus time, wasn't it? It was the original one. I know there's been shitloads of them since. Basically, I'm trying to get you guys to explain the game to people.
Okay,
Go forth, my minions.
I'm the people. I want to hear what it's about.
Okay, it's carrying on the timeless battle between Abstergo and
Jesus ninjas.
The
hidden ones, the Brotherhood.
Yeah, the Brotherhood. But this time it's set in Viking times, yeah. And it's really, really good. It touches on the mythology. It touches on, you get to see a bit of Norway, but it's mainly focused on the invasion of England, sort of over the years of invading England. So Isle of Wight's on there.
No, it's not. That didn't exist.
Haven't got down there yet because it's quite a difficult level to get down to. But yeah, that's there. I've been to London. It's going sort of places where you sort of know, if you know what I mean, if that makes sense. And
walking his old beat.
I saw a big giant with a big chalk willy.
A chalk willy?
I don't know that it had the willy, to be honest, but it did have the giant there. But the giant's got a willy, hasn't it, in real life?
Are you talking about that big clay drawing?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, side tangent here. Did you see the fucking one that was recently discovered of a cat? It's like 20,000 years old. And some fuckers put a massive great cat painting in the fucking wall somewhere. Not wall, hill. Yeah, it was like discovered like a couple of weeks ago.
How did they only just discover it though?
I don't fucking know. Oh, I think it might have been covered over. And I don't know. Maybe they were ploughing a field and they're like, meow. Who knows?
Okay.
Anyway, I'll find it and stick it up on air because it's a cat, but it's like a kid drew a cat. Yeah, it's got pointy ears and whiskers, something like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is the thing with the cave, like prehistoric art and all that. It's always a bit shit, isn't it? I mean, I don't understand. We've always had this, well, for the large majority of time, we've been the same shape. We've had the same sort of mind and everything like that. I don't understand why we used to be shit at drawing. And now
I think
we're quite good.
So, you know how capitalism brings out the best in people? Competition, it makes people better and better.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, holy shit, he's invented a wheel. That means he's faster. I'm going to invent a wheel. In fact, I'm going to put 4 wheels on something. It's going to be even fucking better. Well, I reckon with cave paintings, there was like 5 people in a tribe. I've seen the lost dinosaur. I mean, I know they will fuck all of them. So they do a little drawing on the wall and they're like, holy shit, look at that. It's a people. And then the next people, they see it and they're like, do you know what? That's a terrible looking person. I can make this better. I'm going to fill it out a little bit. It's not going to be a stick man and so forth. The more people that do it, the better you get because you strive to be better than other people, don't you? It's just natural competition.
Well, they never got better, did they?
Oh, they clearly did. I mean, look at us. We've evolved art and we haven't, but art.
Cave paintings are always shit, aren't they? You never go in and see like a ring on the cave wall, like some fucking cave mammoth tusk paintbrush. It's like, oh yeah, perfect.
No, it's because they realised that. I assume they realised that painting on a fucking cave is shit, and if you do it on a bit of paper or papyrus, it's probably going to come out a little bit better. They're like, do you know what? I've got a real problem with the light in here. It's just so dark all the time. I mean, I'm drawing in black in a black cave. No, you can't see shit at all.
I mean, that's to be fair, it is always terrible lighting in those caves. Yeah, that could be a reason.
Yeah, they didn't have ring lights back then.
Could have been a game. It's just like, let's see who can draw the best horse in the pitch dark.
Oh my god!
Because like fucking I've drawn one that looks like a giraffe or something.
If I ever manage to go back in time, I'm going to do a cave painting, but I'm just going to be a real big knobhead about it and just draw a massive great cock and balls and write your name underneath it.
Oh, oddly passive. I mean, it's like a lot of time, effort, and expense to go to just to sort of give me a burn.
Oh, it's a plug, mate. It's not a burn.
Oh, right.
So, yeah.
Well, so
you're welcome.
All these prehistoric women running around like in thousands of years' time, there'll be a guy with a cock like that. But we'll never.
But you hairy monsters. I want a mooshu. that's what it'll be called. It won't be a Brazilian anymore. It'll be a mooshu. It'll just be a smooth cock.
Wow.
Oh, fuck it.
Of all the tangents
yeah, well, tangents are fun, aren't they? And as for interesting things this week, I got bitten by a dog, and I just want to put this out there as a public service announcement to all you dog owners. If you were so fucking lazy to teach your dog not to bite posties, put a fucking sign on your door saying I'm a lazy cunt, who hasn't trained my dog, so at least we know. I went mental at this woman, by the way. I lost my shit. It was ridiculous because it didn't hurt. It did make me bleed, but it like pulled my finger through the letterbox because everything was wet. It got sucked into it, and it bit me. I wasn't expecting it. I jumped and I was like, "Motherfucker!" but really loud, like super fucking loud. And I carried on working. I got about 10 houses down. I realised I'd missed the packet. 10 houses the other fucking way, so I had to walk past his house anyway. And then on my way back to where I had just got to, she was stood in her doorway, and monster of a woman as well. And I turned around and I was like, "Your fucking dog just bit me." And it's like, "Oh, well, I told the other postie to put it in the plastic box." And it's like, "Well, you didn't fucking tell me, did you?" And it's like, she's like, "Well, there's a plastic box there." I was like, "Yeah, there's also a load of other trash in your front garden, isn't there?" I was like, "I'm not just going to leave it in a bin." I was like, "And furthermore, can you not put a sign on the door saying that you're too lazy to train your dog? Or better yet, get a fucking letterbox that's outside." And yeah, and then I looked down at my finger and it was covered in blood. And I was like, "And I'm bleeding." And yeah, she's like, "Do you want a plaster?" I was like, "No, I don't. Piss it down with rain. I just want to go home." Yeah, just walked off. But I told my managers, I was like, "Oh yeah, I might have been a bit of a cunt to a customer earlier." I told them what happened. They're like, "Fair enough." Just carried on.
This is where you find out, Sam, that she doesn't actually have a dog and it was her.
Like any minute now, that policeman's going to be along here.
There was no barking at all. Do you want to see the wound? Look at that.
I can't see it. It's just white.
For our listeners, that was Sam demonstrating his finger with apparently a wound on it.
Yeah, it's devastating. But no, it's one of those sneaky little fuckers. You know, the one, like, it's all right when a dog's going mental behind a door. It's brilliant because you know it's there. But this was a sneaky one. It was just fucking waiting for me. And yeah, my fingers were wet. The post was wet. It was a symphony of madness. But yeah, so today's story of Posty, you're all fucking dog owners. Give me a cat any day. No offense, Jesus. Bailey looks lovely or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Bailey.
Yeah. No, Bailey. Oh, is that the dog? Is that you imitating biting a finger?
So it's a laptop, so I normally have tape across it, so I'm checking it quick.
It's got tape across it. What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Oh, I had my whole thing hacked, didn't I?
Oh, what? Well, watching you jack off in your bedroom?
Well, no, because I don't really have the laptop plugged in a lot. But yeah, I did have someone try and hack me.
Nice. I think I remember it happening,
that's
actually.
Excuse, and he's sticking to it.
Yeah.
Those videos. What else?
Oh, that's awesome. Now, anyway, should we crack on with this bucket list? Mushi, go. One thing you'd do before you
I want to
die.
get Jesus out of the way.
No! He's got so many, it'll take him ages.
He will be talking for years, yeah.
Go on then, Jay.
I just want to race a car in an actual event. That's all I want to do.
Okay, what kind of car do you want to race?
Something along the lines of like a GT3 class. Like the Le Mans, like BMW M8 or the Porsche GT3s, something like that.
Okay, Jeeves, can you just move back just a tad? Because we can only see your top lip. Perfect.
Look at that. Okay. Which track? Any specific track?
Silverstone.
Okay.
It'll be Silverstone or Sao Paulo in Brazil.
Well, they are poles apart, aren't they? I mean, you've got one that's like an hour drive away-ish. And then you've got one that is thousands of miles. What's the one in Sao Paulo?
Yeah. It's the
What's
Brazilian Grand Prix.
about that?
Well, my favourite Formula One driver was Senna, and he's Brazilian. And every time when I play racing games, it's always the track that I do the best at is the Brazilian track.
Oh.
So I've fallen in love with that track. So.
Oh, fair enough.
I was just saying, but you want to do it competitively, like as part of an actual genuine event.
Yeah, not just a track day. I want to do it as an actual event.
This is stemming from all those hours you spend on GT on the PlayStation, isn't it?
I've always loved racing. I've been brought up with racing. I used to watch. Which I don't really watch anymore because it's all been put onto Sky's bloody sports channels. But I used to watch NASCAR trophy trucks, Rallycross, Rally, Formula One, Formula Ford, the British Touring Car Championship, which has another 4 series in tied in with that. So I used to watch anything really, MotoGP. I used to watch it all. Anything with an engine and wheels, I used to watch it, and I still do now, but not as much.
I don't even know any of that existed. I'm not gonna lie. I knew Formula One was a thing. Yeah, they drive really fast, like little space cars. But yeah, other than that, I've been banger racing. That was fun. That's my kind of thing because they get to crash.
Yeah, I've watched June buggy racing, or that's pretty cool. But it's always the person in the lead wins because they've got clean air coming in. Because the rest of them are just in a fucking dust cloud. It's like, I've never seen anything like it. It was absolutely mental.
I mean,
what about the Dakar Rally?
I know what Le Mans is.
I've heard of Dakar's the sprint rally, isn't it? Across, is it Africa?
Desert, yeah. They have multiple classes, so you've got like motorbikes, purpose-built jeeps. There's even a class for the trucks that go out there to repair the buggies.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. I like that.
Type in Google later, type in Dakar rally truck, and you'll see it's basically like almost like a truck that you'd see doing like deliveries to like a co-op or something like that. It's literally driving through the Dakar.
Oh, sick.
Like on a higher suspension and stuff like that.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That sort of thing. But I struggle with circuit races because, like, from a spectator point of view, you sat there watching one little bit of road, and every now and then it's like, yum.
Oh, what, like NASCAR?
Well, just any circuit race, you know. If you go and actually watch it as a spectator, you're literally just watching a load of cars drive past really fast, and that's it.
Yeah.
The point is kind of lost on me, and I know that everyone has a passion, and when it's your passion, it's a different thing. But I can't see the benefit of doing that at all. I mean, driving might be slightly different because at least you've got the layer of skill there, and it'll be quite good fun going that fast.
I'd quite like to do a track. I think that would be fun because I don't really go that fast in my car, and I'd like to, be in a sort of safe environment where I can go hell to leather.
Yeah,
or hell for leather, whatever the phrase is. Jeeves, what about is it the Nuremberg Ring? Is that
Nürburgring?
Nürburgring, thank you. The one in Germany. That's featured quite heavily on Top Gear over the years. That looks like a fun one to race on. Would you do that?
The full circuit, I think it's like 122 corners, about 13 kilometers or something like that. It is actually only open to the public now. It's not. I don't think they actually properly hold racing events on it. There is a separate track which is called the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit, which I think can actually be attached to the full Nürburgring to make it even longer through certain like slip roads or something. But no, they don't. You can. So you could literally tomorrow, if it weren't for COVID, you could literally get in your car, drive to Germany, and then go around the Nürburgring and drive home.
Oh no, I know you can. That's why I was wondering, would you do it? I mean,
I'd love to.
It's not a competitive race, but I mean, as bucket list things go,
if I was to do that, I would want to go for Guy Martin's lap time in a transit van.
I think I saw that. Yeah, the transit van racing, that was pretty impressive. But do you know much about that place? Is it one of those things that you pay per lap, or is it like you get an hour to play on it?
I think it's you get like you pay for an hour or however long.
But, it's a bit of a, wouldn't it? You drive over to Germany, you're allowed it round it once.
Yeah, the only thing I would suggest though is getting the insurance on site.
Well, I'm not going to do it. But yeah, it's probably
you see quite a lot of videos of people writing their cars off and stuff like that, don't you? Like, these dickheads that spend all their time driving around in their Ferraris or whatever in inner city areas, and then suddenly they're on a racetrack and they think like, oh yeah, I've been driving for 4 years without an accident. Like, fucking put their foot down, just spin off into a tree.
I'm Lewis Hamilton. Oh no, I'm not.
Ideally, that's going to be you, isn't it, Jeeves?
Because I've watched the video actually, and it was going through all the pricing of if you have an accident there, and it's like €500 just to get the tow truck out to you.
Fuck off, really?
Yeah,
that's how they're making their money, isn't it?
Right. But then it's like, so if you hit 20 meters of the sidewall, the coving that they got there, which is actually used on proper racetracks and actually on most motorways, that could actually, if you damage like 20 meters of that, you're looking in the thousands of pounds. That is
you've got to pay for it.
Yeah.
I'm never doing that. I mean, literally, I'm just not doing it.
Just like dreading the carnage that'll unfold. But I guess it's like if you go into Tesco's in a trolley and you just bounce off every fucking aisle, you'll probably have to pay for everything you break there as well.
Probably wouldn't. It'd probably just boot you out. It's Tesco. They'd just be like, "Oi, you, bling your hook." They're not going to be like, "Well, I bet you wish you'd taken out Tesco's insurance before you came in today, motherfucker."
I think if they did Tesco's insurance, I should definitely have Tesco's insurance.
I'd just
go. Great idea.
And then also as well, if they have to close the track to clear your mess up, you get charged even more.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm sure it sounds like it would be great fun, but I'm not doing that.
Sounds like a disaster.
Yeah, you could do track days though. I mean, is very achievable, Jeeves.
Yeah. Well, Top Gear did the amateur 24-hour race in Silverstone, where they took a BMW 3 Series diesel and raced that round with.
Of course, they fucking raced it. We're talking about car racing.
With the Stig as well.
Say again, sorry, mate.
They was racing it with the Stig.
Oh, sweet. That's cool. I've always preferred the idea myself of rally driving. I don't watch a lot of motorsport because I find it insanely boring. But rally driving, on the other hand, when they've got the in-car dash and you've got the navigator next to you and they're like, oh, right turn, 200 yards, turn now. Rah! I find that much more exciting to watch when they're going through dirt tracks and stuff. I'd be more inclined to.
The speed they fly past little things like rocks, tree stumps, walls, all that sort of shit. It's like scary.
That is definitely a motorsport I would kill myself doing.
Probably.
I think.
Yeah. What about
hairpin? What?
Here. Oh fuck! I'm dead. What about what's it called? I want to say the Gumball Rally.
I was literally about to say Gumball. I would love that.
Oh, but there's also the Scumball Rally. Have you heard of that one?
No.
Okay, so Jeeves, you're going to explain it better than everybody. Gumball Rally. Do you want to give a little rundown of what that is? I presume you know what it is.
So basically, the Gumball Rally is a rally where it's done by supercars mostly nowadays and hypercars and stuff like that. There are a few lower end cars that do it, but it was basically originally set up because of a driving. A particular guy, I can't remember his name now, but he didn't like the fact that they put speed limits on the motorways and stuff like that. So he wanted to basically make a rally that was a big like fuck you sort of thing. So they've set that up, and then it depends which one you go for because there are so many of them.
Okay,
you've got ones that go across America. You got and then you got some that go down through America. Then you've got European ones, which can start in London and finish in Russia, and stuff like that. So it all depends on which one you want to go for, really.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the Scumble Rally, as far as I can remember, is basically the same. That you start in, say, London, and end up, we'll say Russia. I mean, the countries they could be totally different from what I think, but the cars cost like £100. The cars have to be cheap as fuck. Yeah, and it's basically just a big ass road trip over as quick as possible across the country. So you've got like mechanics in your car and all of that. Do any of those kind of appeal to you? What with your love of motorsports?
Yes, but not the Gumball one.
Why not the Gumball one?
The Gumball one's never really interested me, if I'm truly honest. But the one that does is called the 24 Hours of Lemons.
Okay, elaborate.
And it's exactly what you just said.
Yeah,
it's a piss take of it's sort of like a piss take of the Le Mans 24 hour.
Okay.
So it's 24 hours of literal lemons running around the track. Like you're allowed to spend, I think it's $1,000 on the car.
Okay.
Right. So that's the car, any modifications you want to do to it, anything like that.
Oh, so $1,000 in
the
total.
only thing that. So what's that?
1,000.
So like you buy a car for 500, that gives you 500 quid to modify it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But the only thing that isn't included in that price is safety equipment. So roll cages, fire extinguishers, and all of that lot. That you can spend as much as you want on that stuff because it's safety. But I would love to do that though.
Oh, yeah, that sounds kind of fun. I do love the idea of the Gumball Challenge. I feel like I saw someone do it, like a TV show where they did it, but it was either somebody like Johnny Knoxville and his crew, or Ozzy Osbourne's son, maybe.
There was an
Osbourne.
An old film called The Gumball, wasn't there? Which
yeah. There's Gumball,
and it was basically like wacky races.
Smokey and the Bandit in it, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Rat Race is very, very similar to that as well. That sort of thing. I'd love.
Rat Race.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's a brilliant film. It's got Mr. Bean in it, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's the Italian guy. Yeah. Falls asleep.
Very, very cool.
See, that sort of thing I'd love, like a race across the country. You know, that sort of thing would be great. Great fun.
England to Scotland sort of thing.
Yeah, why not? I mean, America would be better because there's more of it. It'd be a much longer, drawn-out event, but yeah, cool.
Well, yeah, because you could go from the bottom of England to Scotland in a day if traffic served you right.
8 hours. I've done it in 8 hours.
Is that all it took? 8 hours? Fuck me. It took me 45 minutes to get home yesterday, and that was only 15 miles.
Think how fast you're
impressive.
going.
I'm not saying that.
All about
I'm not incriminating myself.
So I'm just having to cover myself with my blanket in case any of the viewers are wondering why I keep changing what's going on. Because it's cold tonight. Woo-wee! There's a chill in the air. Jeeves, I think that's more than achievable, your bucket list. I mean, any race trackers out there, or what do you call them? Race teams?
Yeah, race teams.
Yeah, I mean, if you want Jesus to fulfill a man's dying wish, at least look a bit sick, Jeeves. Get in contact. He'd love to do it. You'd be making the prodigal son a very, very happy boy. I
mean,
what about you?
A bit more simple. We could get in touch with Make-A-Wish, see if we could just fool them into sending you out if you want.
I was actually looking a few years ago at doing my racing license.
Well, do it, mate. If you're clearly interested in it, I don't see why you wouldn't.
Because there's actually quite a few like college and university teams in amateur racing.
Yeah,
where they do the racing mechanic courses and stuff like that. So, but like it's something that I'd go and I'd race for free. I wouldn't be earning money doing it, but I'd quite happily do that.
Yeah, I mean it's something you love doing. Why wouldn't you?
Subject. Pit crews. that must be the most stressful job in the world, because you've got like 5 seconds of your day is like pivotal to your whole career.
Have you seen
for the rest of your life? But that 5 seconds on that, how often are Formula One races, Jibs?
There's normally between 20 to 24 races, something like that at the moment. They've got planned for next year is 24. But they've got the average pit stop is about 2.2 seconds. The fastest being 1.8, I think.
That blows my mind.
Tires, and it's obscene. I'm just like, Jesus Christ! I've barely got my socket wrench out of the case, and they've done 4 tires already. I know they've got a crew and they've got all the kit, but it's genuinely impressive how they do that so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine if someone said to you, like, I'm going to take a snapshot of your working day, I'm going to spend 3 seconds watching you, and then I'm going to decide whether you keep your job or not. How would you feel that 3 seconds? If you're a pit crew, you're laughing. You're just like, I'll just fucking completely strip down this car and replace all the wheels. How about that? Someone like me would be like, I can breathe. And then probably forget to breathe.
The mechanics that I like, if I'm watching the mechanics doing the work, the ones I like to watch is the rally.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Yeah. Well, you see the car come in, literally like the front end completely hanging off. Like hour and a half later, it looks like a brand new car, just like a bit of duct tape on the body panels. But the rest of the car underneath is brand new.
That's awesome. Yeah, that is impressive.
I want those mechanics in my garage.
Yeah. Well,
isn't it?
Fucking right. They clearly know their game, don't they? It's it's very impressive. I'm not hugely into racing sport, but there are little bits of it that I do like. And yeah, that's part of the bits I like. I like watching people make stuff, though. I think,
Well, I watched the British Touring Car Championship earlier today, and it was on Brands Hatch, and it was raining for the first race, and then it dried up. And British Touring Car Championship they was doing 3 races today.
Yeah.
And the second one was just literally clusterfuck. Like literally, I think 3 or 4 people went off on the first corner. Then there was about another 7 or 8 accidents, like just throughout the race. And the race is only like 25 laps. It's not like Formula One where it's like 60, 70 laps.
See, not to sound too morbid or anything, but that's the sort of race I could get behind. Like, because there's stuff going on. It's not just cars going around. Like, some of the racing crashes are insane, and me and Jeeves, we talk about this quite a lot, don't we, about Formula One, in terms of their safety and like all the measures that have gone into the cars to stop things from happening, and like how they can crash at like 300 mile an hour and walk away from it blows my mind. I mean, if ever there was a sport dedicated to science and just basically science, it's that, isn't it? Everything about it is science.
Well, the problem with Formula One, I've got family who are quite into it, so I've been spoken to about quite a lot over the years, is where it's money related. The people with the most money, like McLaren and help us out here, Jeeves, who are the best Formula One people?
Mercedes are the best at the moment. Then you've got the Ferrari, which is the longest standing team. McLaren are slowly fighting their way back, but they're a midfield team at the moment.
Okay, well, that's enough. Either way, the best cars are the ones who have the most money and the best technology, aren't they? That's why I kind of like the rally cars and the lower down stuff. Like banger racing, for instance, you mentioned that earlier, Mushi. Why I like those is because it feels like there's more skill because the cars are so shit. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah. I for one, I prefer that. Don't get me wrong, Formula One cars are incredible. The speeds at which they go at is mind-boggling. It's beyond anything I could ever dream or imagine comprehending. I do 80 and I'm like, fuck me! So like, I'm about to go back in time. 8 more miles an hour.
The thing I like about it though is you've got a team, you've got the driver who is obviously the forefront of the whole thing. Everyone looks at the driver and that's pretty much the face of the team, isn't it? And then, but behind them, you've got a massive team of scientists, engineers, all of these sort of people, right? And as a group effort, it's incredible. But think about what the future holds for it. These scientists, they're going to get bored with cars soon enough. These engineers are going to get bored building cars, aren't they? Now, I wonder if we could build a robot. Then 50 years time, robot jocks going on. It'll be massive robot.
There's already a robot race car.
Is there?
Yeah.
There we go.
Good.
There we go.
No, but it's the starting point of them doing it. But it hasn't quite got the ability to assess the changes of position on the road.
Okay. That's a problem with the automatic driving as well, isn't it? I think Elon Musk has established the best way to do it is actually with video cameras and having everything networked. So, like, if you've got a car 500 meters ahead of you and it sees a pothole, and the next car sees a pothole, then it updates it in the system. So then the other cars miss the pothole. Does that make sense?
That's quite clever, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, it's the fact that he's doing it with cameras as opposed to with like sonar and radar and all of that stuff. I was like, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
I do quite like that. Right, so Jeeves, I don't expect you to have seen this because it isn't one of the 3 prescribed movies, but there's a movie, I think, and it's called Death Race, where they take prisoners and they make them race to the death, and you've got shields and guns. It's got Jason Statham in it. Oh, yeah, he's like one of your top actors, isn't he? It's your boy.
He likes the depth of character for each.
Yeah, it's such a range. I love the idea of that, because that, to me, is like real-life Mario Kart. I mean, instead of picking up shells, you unlock your weapons packs, and all of a sudden you got machine guns working at the front of that. We love that.
I love Tombstone.
Yes, yeah.
A hunk of metal he just drops off the back of his car.
Well, it's his shield, isn't it? He's got his shield. He's got the tombstone, and they're just a fucking great lump of, well, as you say, a big lump of metal just flies off and hits somebody. I enjoyed that. If that was a thing, I would be a fan. I'd probably pay a subscription to watch.
I could get behind that. Yeah. Do you remember an old video game called Road Rash?
Yeah, man, really.
Motorbikes, and you could drive.
You could kick people and use the like nunchucks or whatever. No, it's a chain, wasn't it?
You picked up a chain. Yeah, you could just whip them with the chain, knock them off and stuff. That was great. That game. Something like that was fun as well, providing I didn't get
hurt. Well, I don't
want
to do it. I just want to watch it.
Death Metal or something like that, a card game. It was basically a video game version of Death Race.
Yeah, I know the one you mean. I can't remember what it's called.
It weren't Carmageddon, because that was something.
Carmageddon was fun though. I mean, it's dated and it's old as fuck, but back in the day when it came out, it was a fun game.
The game I'm thinking of, it has the clown.
Yeah, and the ice cream truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal, that's the one, yeah.
Oh, Twisted Metal. I know that one. Yeah, and I think I saw the clown and was like, fuck you.
Nope.
Yeah. It's like that girl that invited you back to her house of the snakes. I walked straight back out that door. I was like, not today, my friend. I'm going to go and get a book instead. Oh, quality. Well, Jeeves, have a little think if there's anything else you'd actually like to do before you croak. But either way, it's your turn, Mushu.
Right. Where do I start? Mine are all sort of weirdly specific, I think. I want to order a pie at a diner in a weird little back country town in America.
Okay. I reckon I'm going to have a lot of the very similar fucking ones to you, Mushu.
I'm going first then, because it doesn't sound like I'm trying to be cool.
Can I just say that sounds to me like that's going to be like The Hills Have Eyes. You're going to have that pie and then wake up in your pants in the middle of nowhere with a redneck hanging himself over you.
As long as I get
I don't hate that outcome either. Yeah, right, Mushu, I'm totally on board with that. Keep going.
Roundabouts, Jeeves. I get pie, they get a bit of nookie or whatever, how it works. That's life. Yeah. So that sort of thing. I want to be served by the typical American waitress is just like, oh, you want more coffee, hun? And all that sort of shit. Completely from Hollywood. I know
Yeah.
it'll be underwhelming, but I want to do it.
Now, Mushu, set the scene here. So you sat on a bar stool at the bar, and she's like, "Honey, do you want a slice of pie?" And then,
No, I'm in the booth.
You're in a booth. Okay, you're in a booth.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm in the booth, and yeah, maybe she's coming over, a little bit flirty, but she's old and fat, but I probably still would. Yeah, you know how it goes.
Yeah.
No, probably about it.
Do you want some coffee, honey? Do you want her walking around with a coffee pot in hand and a notebook in the other hand? She's filling up. Yeah, no, I'm so on board. I love that. I love American diners. There's that whole nostalgia from all the movies. Why are you? Is this part of a holiday, or is this literally like I just want to quickly nip into a diner and have this?
Well, if I could, ideally, I would like to roll that into with my retirement plans, which involve log cabins, Alaska, and a big dog.
Oh, fuck's sake, Mooch. We've literally got the same bucket list. We need to go gay.
Everyone tells me this. You're like the third bloke that's told me we should go gay at some point. I'm starting to think it's something about my natural magnetism. Jesus, but no, I mean, we would live quite a comfortable lifestyle. You're right, Sam.
It certainly wouldn't be cold. I call Big Spoon.
If you have guns, I'll be there.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, I'm not even going to interrupt. You say yours, and I'll say mine, and they're going to be the exact same thing. So it should be over and done nice and quickly. Short episode this.
So, yeah, that's mine. I'd like to travel to Machu Picchu and some of the other Peruvian sites. I'd like to see a bit of archaeology firsthand. I'd like to, all of that stuff. I like the Peruvian archaeology. I'd also like to go and see all the stuff like Angkor Wat. The buried city and stuff like that.
Oh, yes. I do know.
What's it called? Temple of... I can't remember what it is, but Petra? Is it Petra? Something like that? Do you know where they filmed Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade with the temple carved into the mountain? I want to see all that sort of shit as well.
Fun fact about that little place. It's not a fun fact. It's a shit second-hand anecdote, in fact. I used to work with a guy who proposed to his wife there. He had pictures of it and everything. It's very impressive, lovely guy.
Well, there you go. Let you into a little secret here, and this is a bit weird, potentially. I don't know.
You're going to propose.
The reason I want to go to these places in person is I want to smell them.
Okay.
I know, but I want to. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I look at some places and I think I need to see what the air smells like there. It's fucking strange.
Okay, Mushu, I've got a sneaking suspicion when you're on a bus, you're the person who leans forward, pre-COVID, by the way, people, who leans forward and grabs a bit of hair and is just like...
Timothy.
Did you say Timothy?
Oh, set of nails
I can just imagine Andy getting off the plane going, I'm done.
No,
put this shit around.
No, smell for me really triggers memories, like really badly. Like I think I was telling you, Jeeves, the other day I got a whiff of a smell and it took me back to Sonic the Hedgehog 2's ending credits.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do remember this, yeah.
Which and smells for me give me very, very vivid memories and put me in very sort of specific places. And so I want to go there. I want to experience everything. And like you go into these buried temples, you're gonna have the smell of the sand, the heat, the stone, everything like that. And it's, I don't know, that's just gonna stick.
Heat isn't renowned for having a smell. That's more of a temperature. It's got to be said. God, smell that heat. You mean
you can smell heat.
I can't fucking smell no heat here, mate. That's for sure.
It's the same way that water is. The flavour of water is defined by its temperature, isn't it? It's.
I do agree with that. Actually, the night.
So if you could taste temperature, you can fucking smell it. All right, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, I'll give you that. Alaska cabins. Is that your end game? Is that where you want to end up?
That's my retirement plan. Yeah. I'd like to go over and do some sort of work in. What I'd like to do is when I hit sort of 50, 10 years time, at 25 years time, something like that.
6 years time.
I want to go over there and work in sort of criminal, civilian criminal sort of work, like civilian police work, like work on the counter of a police desk or something like that, do custody duty, something like that, and then retire in Alaska with a nice little log cabin, fucking dog, shit ton of whiskey. Yeah, no, that'll be me. You know, the sort of place where I've got to go down into town every like 6 weeks to get shopping.
Sounds so good.
So. Could you imagine if Andy went to America and started his own Mushu the Bounty Hunter?
500 likes, people. I'm just going to keep adding things to the 500 likes thing.
It's not like the opening credits. He's just like lubing up his head. I'm coming for you.
If I've got 500 likes, it won't be that. It'll be tying back the fucking man bun.
You'd even look like an American.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for Mushi the Bounty Hunter to happen, first you need to find yourself a woman that looks like a man, and preferably is an imitation of you. So it would be like Uncle Fester's girlfriend in the Addams Family.
I mean, it would be easier just to stick a wig on you, Sam.
I don't need a wig. I've got hair. I'd need no hair, like you.
No, but you could be my lady friend, like my Beth.
Well, I should be the fucking lady. You be the lady, bitch. I don't want a bit. No. I mean, like I'm well up for the Alaska thing. That's great. Being your bitch, I'm right off.
There's not for the crime fighting duo, no.
I'm guessing. I'm getting the feeling that he's the top.
He's not big spooning. I'm big spoon.
You can't be a bigger spoon when you're smaller. It doesn't work.
I don't care if you are 9 feet tall. You're not big spooning. It's my job.
It's not. It's a real dominance thing for you, isn't it? The idea of being a little spoon. It's all right. There'll be a dog. I'll just spoon the dog. Fuck it.
The moment I'm nestled up, fetal position, with a man encapsulating me, that's it. My fucking mind is gone. I'm giving up on being a bloke. That's it. I'm done.
Well, this is 2020. There's nothing not manly about being gay.
Or being the little spoon.
It's not even about being gay. I would more than happily big spoon a bloke. You know, that's fine. I might even give him the old comfortable arm over.
Reach around.
That's all good. I'm not being the little spoon, though. I'm not being the pig in that blanket. It's not happening.
That's funny.
This is where you wake Andy up in Alaska and just go oink oink.
Yeah, no, fuck that. No spooning in my cabin. No, apart from
it's a weird bucket list, isn't it, to be my big spoon? And for the record, that's not on my bucket list.
It wasn't. It is now.
Yeah. Good point.
I'm going to strike that off my bucket list because you've made it sound weird now.
I've made it sound weird. Oh, fuck you. Oh, that's so cool. So it's a lot of travelling, then a bit of horrible, shitty work for some reason. You want to work on a desk in a police station when you're 50, and then off to Alaska after you stop for pie in a local diner.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so America's pretty much done. Can I stick on my bucket list that I'd like to avoid Australia? Because I'd like to do that. I don't ever want to go there. I would actively
Why not?
I feel like I should add this to my bucket list to get Andy to Australia.
I would hate it. It's literally everything I hate in a country. No offense to Australians. I've met a load of lovely Australians. And for the 2 or 3 viewers we've got in Queensland, I'm sure you're lovely people. I mean, you might not be. You might be dickheads. I don't know. But I'm sure you're not.
Did you just say we've got viewers in Queensland?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Always
I'm out.
That's got to be points for me, surely.
No, that's points to Queensland. And they they are definitely legends. There's no question about it. I mean, you might be about to put a tirade about how fucking terrible Australians are, but I, on the other hand, think you are badass motherfuckers.
I like Australian people. I hate the country. It's the country I hate. Because we've been through this in the last one. Everything wants to kill you.
That's all right.
No, it's not. Go somewhere nice and safe, like Siberia.
Yeah. Why not Lebanon? I've heard the Gulf Strip's nice at this time of year.
But that is somewhere on my travel bucket list is somewhere like Siberia or something like that. I want to go Arctic Circle. I want to go where it's fucking frozen.
I want to see the Northern Lights as well.
Yeah. Now, that's always been on my bucket list and still is. A couple of years ago, I got the opportunity to go to Iceland. So we went to Iceland. Me and my girlfriend went to Iceland. Beautiful it was a little cabin in the middle of this Icelandic national park. On its own, nice. The nearest neighbour was like probably about half a mile away. And one side of this cabin was glass, right? Which is beautiful as well. Outside hot tub, outside shower, everything like this. It was idyllic, man. It was fucking beautiful. And it was perfect for seeing the Northern Lights, which didn't happen while I was over there.
And let me get. Did she big spoon you as well, just to add salt to the wound?
That's where it all stems from, the bitch. It was all going so well until the erection happened. I just wasn't expecting it from her.
Yeah, no. The whisper in your ear, my turn now.
Sophie? God.
You want to pray? This is my finger, boy.
Yeah. Northern Lights are definitely something I wanted to see. I mean,
yeah. Well, you can see it in Alaska. You don't have to go to Iceland for it.
You can see it in Scotland sometimes in the right situations.
I did not know that. That's only 8 hours away, apparently.
That's to Edinburgh. That was Edinburgh to Southampton.
Yeah, this will be right up sort of Isle of Skye, I would imagine, the furthest north you can get.
Well, I've not been there, and I just presume it's about as big as the Isle of Wight.
What, Scotland?
Yeah.
Somewhat larger. Yeah, Jeeves, you're right to look like that. Yeah.
It's the top half, isn't it? Past London, I'm clueless.
I should just explain for our listeners, because they can't see Jeeves' face. He's doing this.
Okay. That's not explaining. That is just doing the face. He looks like when you're in a lift and somebody farts and doesn't own up to it, but they've just had a Christmas dinner. That's the face that I was just seeing on YouTube.
Oh, doing an Andy.
Oh, that kind of face. That's what I'm seeing.
That's the lowest of the low, dropping one in an elevator.
No, that would be a Bailey, wouldn't it?
No elevator journey is that long that you can't hold it in. I'm sorry. It's like people that shit themselves on the elevator. You're in the smallest room in the fucking building. At least wait until you're out in the corridor.
Hang on. Andy, have you ever shit yourself in an elevator?
So other things on the back.
Do tell.
I'm not going into a list of places where I've shit myself. We haven't.
The fact that there's a list is quite impressive, man.
Well, at the top of that list is going to be his car.
Oh.
Ironically,
because the amount of times I hear from him, I nearly shit myself in the car earlier. He's fucking unreal.
Oh God.
What can I say? I put a lot more trust in myself than I should, maybe.
You've got a lot more faith in yourself than what your sphincter has in you.
Yeah, go on, sphincter, you can do it. Oh.
No, I can't.
No, I can't. Not anymore.
Oh fuck. No.
Yeah, so I'd like to go somewhere. I'd like to go somewhere really cold as well, like see how the people live there, like the Inuits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd like to say I'd like to live with them for like a month or something like that, but I know I wouldn't. I know I'd get out there. I'd be like, fuck me, it's nippy. All right, get the kettle on. I'll stop for a cuppa and then I'm getting off. I'll have some of that seaweed you're eating there and then I'll go.
Again, Mushi, I'm quite on board with that. I wouldn't want to go and live with like tribes in a rainforest where I'm going to get fucking tapeworms, ringworms, and
no, fuck that.
I'm not. That doesn't appeal to me. But the real extreme ones, when you're like, why the fuck are you living out here? There's no grass. It's just ice and snow and blubber. That I would like to experience.
Yeah.
I
don't know if they're still doing it, but you used to be able to on Airbnb stay with a Vietnamese farming family, and it was literally you pay them £1 a day.
Yeah, I want to do that.
That covers your accommodation, your food, everything. Because £1 over there is fucking ridiculous.
Oh, mate, I do appreciate. I feel like I would go to Vietnam. It's just the heat and me don't really agree with one another particularly well. So anywhere where taking 3 steps is just going to make me sweat my tits off, I'm just like, is it worth it? I mean, plus, I'm going to stand out like a sore thumb over there. You know, fairly pale. I'm about 2 foot taller than everybody else. I'll probably just get kidnapped, tortured, and then eaten by Mushu. It'd have just fucking turned up.
They wouldn't be able to lift you to kidnap you.
No, but they got machetes. They're all just running around with machetes, chopping shit up, aren't they? Oh, like sugarcane, white Englishman. Who gives a fuck? Hack, 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 hack. I mean, I'm not saying that these people are cannibals per se, but knowing my luck, that is probably what would happen.
I think someone on the Vietnam tourist boards just had a heart attack watching this. Like, yeah, basically, they're cannibals. The moment you get the plane over there, they're on you with their machetes. Just
I'd like to try their food. I'd very much like to try their food, but I think if I wouldn't want to go and stay and embrace the culture, and and mosquito. I know Alaska actually has terrible mosquitoes, particularly when it's the summertime. But in the winter, not fucking around in the winter.
I would say the exception to the hot places. Have you seen the film The Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio?
I have, and that comes into my bucket list, actually.
If I came across a settlement like that, I could quite happily and comfortably stay there, I think.
What, with a bunch of hippies that grow weed, but let you die in a tent if you've got gangrene?
Yeah, fuck it. I'll just try not to get gangrene.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm
quite good with that. I mean, at the moment, I'm living on my own where I could get gangrene and die anyway. So I'll it doesn't really change my life that much. But you get to live in a commune in the middle of the fucking Pacific or whatever. It sounds.
Do you know what? Commune living, talking about like living in different cultures and societies and trying out those different things. Commune living, and I'm not talking about it in a, just fucking everybody way, but that whole shared lifestyle where everybody pitches in and you have like community meals and stuff. I quite like to experience that. And I want to do it like forever. To clarify, I mean, by all means, send me an email if you're in a commune listening to our podcast. But I don't want to. I don't think I'd want to do it forever. Although saying that, I might really like it. That sort of appeals to my nature. Is the, working smarter, not necessarily harder. I appreciate they have long days, but everybody pitching in and picking vegetables and fruit and all of that sort of stuff.
These, who is it? Is it the Mormons over in America? Who is it?
I hate the Mormons. That's my least favourite. All the religions
with the little beards.
Amish or Mennonites. Both of those are. I think the Mennonites is the slightly more German-based ones, and they're not as strict.
No, the Amish are the Dutch ones, though, aren't they?
I believe so. They have like Amish electricity, they call it, and it means they've got like a fridge and a light, and then they'll have a phone, but it won't be in the house. It'll be in like a special phone box shed down at the bottom of the thing.
I'm quite envious of their lifestyle. And I would like very much to live like that, but I couldn't now. I would have had to have been born into it, if you know what I mean. Because I'd miss too much now. But I think if you grew up like that was your life, how nice it would be being at this age now and you're not worrying about taxes, you're not worrying about like all this sort of bullshit. What you're worrying about is whether you're going to have a good harvest. Yeah. What you're excited about is the fact you've just brewed up some new mead, which you're all going to sit down on Friday and have a drink with around the communal table. It sounds fucking beautiful, mate. Such a simple life. And I'm so jealous.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the mead aspect doesn't happen, but the rest of it does.
The only thing, I mean, you can't wear snazzy trousers or anything like that. That's out.
And you can't have a moustache. You can only have a chin beard.
I mean, that's all right, because my top lip, I don't actually mind my top lip. It's my chin that's shaped like a bollock.
Oh, well, there you go, 500 likes. And the only thing Mushu's now allowed to shave is his top lip. Everything else has to grow.
The bald bit.
Yeah, and we call him, from then on, Brother Mushu. The honorary Mennonite. No, again, I'd quite like to experience that one as well. They do that really cool thing. I think it's called Rumspringer, where they let young people out into the world for a non-specific length of time to basically go and drink and chase the D. Is from what I took from that. Before they have to settle into a life of hairy hard work.
It's a period of change for them, isn't it? It's the period of choice. Like, they get to go and spend however long it is out in society, and then they get to decide whether they want to try and integrate with society or embrace their army roots and settle down. And and a surprising amount of them go back to the Amish.
Well, I mean, is that a surprise to you though? Because if you're born up, it's terrible. If you're brought up only knowing the way of the Amish, so working hard, community, family, and then you go out into, we'll say, the real world, just for lack of a better phrase, and everybody's rude, all self-serving, everybody's on their phone. You were brought up to have to be humble and to hide your skin, for instance, and then you go out and everybody's in booty shorts doing duck faces. I mean, I would imagine that would be quite terrifying, and it's probably just the easier option to head back to the farm and get your 6 wives or whatever you're allowed. That's Mormons, isn't it? Not
I mean, one overriding thing with humans is we're terrified of change, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely we are. Well, I say we. I can't speak for everybody else because I don't know your languages. But yeah, I do. I get what you're saying. Is that change isn't something that is relished by most. But I'd like to experience them. I mean, so chalk me up for living with a cult, living with the Amish. I'm up for that. I don't. Again, tribes in jungles. Not so interested in that. I don't want to be eaten by a spider or fucking strangled by a snake. They can fucking suck a dick.
Anywhere where you've got to wade through muddy water. I don't see the point in that. Why do you see these?
Mangroves. The mangroves look like the worst place in the world. It stinks of shit. The mud's like clay, holds you down. You can't walk anywhere because it's just roots and bendy trees here, there, and everywhere. You've got snakes and crocodiles, snapping turtles, piranhas. It seems to me like a fucking shithole. I don't want to go there.
And there, you've just summed up Australia for me.
Oh shit! Maybe I don't want to go to Australia. I do want to go to Australia. I'm up for that challenge. They speak English, so it's all good.
It's always struck me as interesting house placements on like, while we're talking about foreign cultures and stuff like that. Like, you see some of these villages in the rainforest and they're wading through this knee-deep water and stuff like that. And you're thinking, why don't you just build your house a bit up the hill up there? There's literally, you can see the hill in the background. Like, just build it 3 foot up and you won't be wading through water all the time.
But mate, you can't say that, because how many years have we been sending money over to feed starving African people living in deserts, and none of those fuckers have moved? They're all still in the fucking deserts. Go somewhere where there's a bit of grass and tree and water. I mean, you'll be able to.
Don't live 10 miles away from the watering hole.
Yeah, Suki. Get off. Just fucking move.
It doesn't look like those houses are sort of like, I don't know. They look relatively easy to sort of develop a settlement out there. I don't know, because I'm not an architect and I've certainly never lived in any of these countries. There may be a legitimate reason, but I don't see why you would move so far away from the watering hole. If anyone does, let me know.
Yeah. It's that's madness.
And why have they all got a fucking Manchester United top?
It's because that's what we over, isn't it? Nobody wants the Manchester United tops.
No, you can go into the middle of the fucking Amazon. Like, we've trekked for 5 weeks to find this previously undiscovered tribe. Never had contact with humans at all. And then you get there, he's wearing a fucking Ronaldo shirt or something like that. It's like,
he's wearing a Ronaldo shirt and his missus is taking pictures and sticking them on Instagram.
Yeah, Pride life.
And someone's always out there sending emails because how many princes must there be? I mean, the prince of such and such needs a donation from you. Please send us your bank details. I mean, someone's.
God, they must be fighting for me. Right, forging on then. Sam's got his tea. He's all warmed up. He's got his blanket over his lap like the old man he is.
Thank you. I'm basically outside, you cunt, so shut the fuck up.
So we've covered quite a lot of travel related buckets that I've got. I think one of the major non-travel related is obviously I'd have to travel there. I can't teleport. But I know you're going to be on board with this as well, and probably you, Jeeves, is guns. I want to go somewhere with guns. Lots and lots of guns. Every type of gun imaginable. You know, these little seedy places in like a fucking desert backlot in like fucking Serbia.
Nevada.
Yeah, where they've just got everything. And, you know, like you got fucking RPGs that you can fire at cars and all that sort of shit. Just go wild.
Yeah. That's that you do that in like the like Thailand and places like that, can't you?
Yeah, I'd like to do that. And just let rip with a load of different firearms, just for a laugh, you know.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that ties quite heavily into like my bucket list. As I said, with the same as yours, is that I would like to end up in Alaska. Possibly not as just a retirement thing, because it's a hard life over there. I mean, it's dark for half the year, light for the other half, and it's fucking cold as shit. But yeah, I'm totally on board with that. I like shooting guns. The more, the merrier. I would like to do, as opposed to shooting an RPG at a cow, which I presume would be quite fun. I like hunting, not fox hunting. I mean, I don't give a fuck about fox hunting as a rule, but it doesn't appeal to me. But I like that subsistence living thing where you hunt. I mean, a lot of Alaskans who aren't in the bigger cities, they either farm or they hunt, and that's how they keep their protein coming in. And I wouldn't want to farm. I mean, I'd want chickens and stuff. I mean, chickens are great. But yeah, I'd like to hunt a moose and a bear.
I think there's two types of hunting, though, isn't there? There's hunting born of our primal need for food, and then there's hunting born out of malice and general want to cause harm. Yeah. And I think it doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out that one of those types of people are fucking morons, and the other type of people are generally sort of not, you know, they're not going to be too bad, are they? They're, you know, it's not like you're going out killing for fun or just to see what you can do or what you can take down. Is that what you're talking about? Like, you're actually going to kill for meat? Yeah. You're going to kill for and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm totally on board with that. Like trophy hunters, I think it's. I mean, each their. I'm all for doing what they like doing, but I do think like shooting lions and stuff is a bit cunty. If I'm honest, I don't see the point in it. Why the fuck anybody would shoot an elephant is beyond me. That's I just don't get that in any way, shape, or form. No. But yeah, the shooting to get your meat, hunting for your meat. That's. I find that way more appealing, and I'd like to do that. That's on my list. I mean, I have gone hunting. I went deer hunting in America, and we ended up shooting up.
Muting my phone.
You what? Sorry, I
was just muting my phone. It's going to start pinging loads. So.
Oh yikes! You can tell someone's age by if they've got their phone ringer on. Only old people do. Young people have it all turned off, don't they? But yeah, no, I would like to do the hunting aspect for feeding myself as opposed to just for the sake of killing. I mean, that doesn't appeal to me at all. I don't want to just go shoot shit. But yeah, that's on my list of things to do. Maybe, moose, bear, deer. I've hunted. Oh, bing bong.
Did you still hear that?
Yeah.
That's coming from my watch. I don't know how to mute that because I'm too old. So you're just going to have to put up with it.
Is there any particular firearm that you'd like to shoot?
Yeah, there's loads.
Do
you want a little?
How about your top three? Should we do a top three quick?
Okay, I can do that fairly quickly. A Colt 911, because I think it is simply the most beautiful pistol in the world. Absolutely adore that.
Which variant?
Huh?
Which variant? Because there's two different types.
Well, I don't.
Three, I think.
I don't know. That's beyond me. I would like a chrome one. No, I don't want a chrome one. I want a black barrel and a wooden handle. That's all I care about. All the ones
you've got them chambered in 45, 9mm, and 22.
Oh, 45. Sorry, I don't want a fucking 9mm or
22.
A 22.
A 22.
Do a 22 or something similar like that.
No. I want a 45. Sorry, I didn't realise
you meant. Not sure if you've been shot or not.
Yeah. It just goes. What the? No, I want to shoot one of them.
Didn't they create 177 AK-47 at one point, and they had to discontinue it because the 177 rounds were so small they were sealing and cauterising the wound as they went through them, and causing no permanent damage. Like it's ridiculous. Like
just basically piercing people.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Poke.
Yeah. No, so sorry, Jeeves, a 45. I would then like to use also a 45, a Winchester Underlever rifle, the gun that won the West, because also the most beautiful rifle ever. I want that one in chrome. And I mean, I know it's a bit boring, but an AK-47, who doesn't want to shoot an AK? You wanted a top three? Oh, can I have one more? A Mossberg pump action shotgun with an 8-barrel chamber. Yeah, those four. I'm happy. They're the four I want.
Okay, if I'm going to have 4 then as well, I'll go for a Magnum. Python 5.0 handgun.
Oh, okay.
I would go for the Steyr or Steyr. It's a bullpup assault rifle. It's the one that the matey on the roof has in Die Hard.
Okay.
It's really weird. It looks like an arrowhead almost, or like half an arrowhead. It's very strange, but I want to fire one of them.
What the orb?
No, it's like it looks like it, but a lot more. It's called the Steyr. But it's like that sort of thing. It's like a bullpup sort of design. The AA-12 shotgun, fully automatic. Yes, please.
Nice.
You just want to relive that Terry Crews moment, don't you, down that corridor?
I used to use that in Call of Duty. There was one of the old Call of Duty games, you could use those akimbo. My God, they made a mess.
I've never been a big fan of them in video games, but I'd love to fire them in real life, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. They're bigger in real life than they look in the video games. I mean, was it the Expendables 2 where Terry Crews shot that? Yeah, it was infinitely larger than I thought it was, but no, I like that the noise of the pump. I
just like the carnage. Bang, 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 just constantly, just like everything in front of me can fuck off. Yeah.
You know, they've got multiple different types of rounds for that as well.
Yeah.
It has like a explosive round as well, I believe.
Yeah.
What they were doing at one point was mounting them upside down on Humvees.
Jesus.
Gun turrets of Humvees. So one would have like explosive rounds, and the other one would have buckshot or slugs and stuff like that.
Jeeps, many years ago, I used to browse this website called Gun Broker, and it was basically eBay for guns. And on it, they had lots of different types of ammunition. They had the Dragonfire shotgun rounds, but they had these other ones that I've never seen since. And instead of little pellets, they had small, round razor blade discs, and it had maybe 15 of those in the barrel. I can't imagine what that would do to your barrel. I can't imagine it would be good. But yeah, you could shoot out discs.
Rounds.
Say again?
Is that is it the fillets or something?
Yes, like flechette or something.
Flechette rounds, yeah.
Yeah, it's something along those lines. Yeah, not good. Yeah, I've seen those. Again, I'll stick with buckshot. Yeah, okay, that's 2, Mushu. Oh no, that's 3, 4.
That's 3. And then the Winchester again.
Oh, very nice, very nice. The Python, I'm not interested in the Python because so I've shot a 45 pistol, and son of a bitch, the kickoff of that is just ridiculous. And then you see Andrew Lincoln wielding the Python single-handedly, all just like, not gangstery, but you could tell he doesn't have a proper grip. And I would just imagine that it would bust your wrist up in minutes.
Yeah.
Of shoot. Jeeves.
So we've got 4, yeah?
Yes.
So I would go for the Lee Enfield number 4.
Okay.
A fine rifle.
Bolt action rifle?
Huh?
Bolt action rifle.
Yeah, 308.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'll go for the World War II Tommy gun.
Nice. Very good.
Got to go for the Tommy gun.
Yeah. Would go for the Gangster Drum magazine, or would you go for the Army normal mag?
Drum mag?
Okay. They're horrifically poorly accurate, those films. Guns, by the way.
I don't care. I'll be firing on full auto with a massive smile on my face.
Yeah. That's cool.
The M2 Browning.
I'm glad you said a heavy because neither me or Mushu did.
And then I would love to fire the Mark 19.
What do I hear that from?
Elaborate.
Right. So you know the M2 Browning is the 50 caliber that's been in the military for fucking 50, 60 years.
Yes.
It's that, but instead of firing 50 caliber rounds, it fires 40 millimeter grenades.
Oh,
well, that sounds silly.
Huh?
That just sounds silly.
I mean,
have you ever watched the video? It literally, you see them, right? They sit there.
I might have seen this.
Thonk, 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 and then out in the distance, it's just fucking carnage.
Yeah.
It's like 5 seconds difference, isn't it? It's like, thug, 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 thug. And then they're just waiting. He's like, wait for it. And you just, I mean, it's very cool. It's very cool.
I feel we took a different approach on this. I sort of, where I was talking about going to Alaska to go hunting and that sort of thing, I chose guns that I would specifically want to own and were feasible that you could probably own. Jesus, you have delved into the deep, dark world of fantasy there, because I'd love to shoot all of those.
Well, we were talking the bucket list shooting range in Serbia or whatever.
You are right. I didn't answer the question as well as I probably should have, because now I'm thinking on it and I'm like, I'd love to shoot the PPSH, because that's like the Russian version of the Tommy gun, isn't it? I love that. It's a beautiful little gun. I've seen it used in a couple of movies and it does look cool. And yeah, a Browning as well. I'd love to do that. And I'd quite like to shoot a grenade launcher. I mean, who wouldn't want to shoot a thumper?
Well,
I mean, it's yeah.
I love the noises that they make, though.
You pick a noob tube.
Huh?
Mushu, I'm the only person in 2020 who still uses a noob tube in COD. I don't care that it's gay as fuck, but how many times have I blown cars up with those fucking things? I mean, there's a place. There's always a place for one.
Yeah, fair.
To be fair, the thing I love about the grenade launchers, though, is just the noise, just a bonk.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like in Terminator 2, where he's walking along and he's not allowed to kill anyone. He uses a Gatling gun and he just fucking mows down all those things. And then he's got the smoke grenades or gas canister grenades, and he just shoots like the SWAT team in like the leg and in the chest of them. And he like doesn't kill them, but it's just like, oh fuck. It's just, yeah.
I can imagine that'd be quite unpleasant.
Oh, awful. Yeah, I stand by my choices. The four I chose, I'd absolutely love to shoot those, but I'd also love to own those, because they're all wicked. Just classic guns from TV, aren't they?
Yeah.
But fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's probably it for my bucket list. Are you allowed ones that aren't technically possible?
Yeah, why not? Well, let's at least hear it.
I'd like to be in a situation at some point before I die where I can do some Ready Player One shit. I'm talking full on haptic virtual reality. I'm living there. It's going to suck having a run and walk places and actually do energy, but
too energy.
But I'd really like that to happen before I died. I'd like to be able to, if I can just hang on until they can transfer my consciousness into a computer, fucking crack on. I'll be all over that. Over.
I think I probably will as well.
The only place you'd be able to be uploaded, Andy, would be the dark web.
I just lurk forever. I'm fine with that. That's good. I'd end up fucking stuck on my smartwatch or something like that, just being stuck to a sweaty wrist. Oh, great.
You'd be stuck to a sweaty wrist and then put it on the right hand, so you just get shaken around all the time. It'd just be awful. So Ready Player One, I mean, I'm pretty sure neither of you have actually read that, have you?
No. You sort of you bring it up every time. The book's very, very good, and every time I say I'm going to read it, and then I never do.
It's brilliant, but well, when this is released, Ready Player 2 will be out on Tuesday, people.
The book?
Yes, it gets released not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. So yeah, my project for the week is to get through Ready Player 1 before that comes out.
I might do the same.
It comes out on Tuesday. I'm just going to get it on Audible. I mean, I'm too busy at the moment because of Christmas. But yeah, I'm so on board with that. But I think that's probably not likely until we're nearing the end of our lives.
I don't care, mate. I'm fully invested in being one of those old blokes that still games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is my greatest passion in life. You know, it's the only thing. Some people have their football. I have my video games and shit like that. So
yeah.
I'll still be in it in 90. I'll be on Zimmer Frame Simulator or something like that. You know, like fucking the virtual reality equivalent of Daley Thompson's Decathlon. Does anybody remember that game? Sam?
No.
Surely.
No.
Back on the days of the Spectrum, mate, it's what broke my keyboard. You just used to have to tap.
Oh, when you're like
tap Z and X really fast. And then if you're doing the hurdles, you got to hit C as well. So you're like fucking end up with broken fingers and keyboards and all that. But yeah,
that's why you always won on that little game on
Call of Duty, yeah, because button bashing is my thing. I grew up with it.
Yeah, no, I didn't realise it. I think I have actually played that. Real basic. Getting the jump in was always difficult, wasn't it? You get so carried away. You just
games like that would be right out the fucking window with a virtual reality haptic seat. I'd be like, nope.
Oh,
all you've got to do is sprint. Fuck off. Have you got anything which involves sitting down?
Yeah, I've long thought about this. When people get old and they go senile, they revert back to their youth years, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think when our generation get to, we'll say 80, and they start losing their marbles, it's just going to be a load of old people sat with Xbox Ones or 360s or whatever with their headsets on playing Call of Duty because that's what they remember doing with their youth? Just that they spend so much time doing it. They're just like, no. Where now they read books and, you know, they listen to old jazz and Radio 2 on Sunday mornings for whatever it was. It'll be like us lot. We'll all be sat there playing Halo on the original Xbox.
I can honestly see myself being the games master when I'm older, just sat in a nursing home.
You look like Game Master.
Bionic eye. And they'll come up and they'll be like, oh, Andy, what are you doing? You're trying to collect the creatures on Sonic. Like, stupid girl. This is Act 1 of Green Hill Zone. I'm trying to get the secret area where it goes black and white. You know, that's going to be me. That's my future. I'm cool with that, though. I'm down with that. That's all right.
What fucking happened to Games Master? Because that was a really cool show, and I liked having video game shows where they showcased all the new shit that was coming out. And I don't watch a lot of normal TV anymore because I can't stand adverts, but I don't see any. Xbox used to have a channel as well with somebody who looked like he was from Busted years ago, and
Games Master was in a league of its own, though, because it covered every platform. Yeah. It had a celebrated astrophysicist playing a Games Master, a cyborg thing that just made children like cry. But the best thing was, do you remember the cheat section?
Yeah.
Like, because you'd have a bit of a game, then you'd have something, then you'd have a bit of a game, then it would be the cheat section.
Yeah, and then there'd be competition as well.
It'd just be like three games or something like that, and you'd just be watching it, being like, oh no, Altered Beast, no, I've done that. Yeah, Sonic, yeah, I'm aware of that. And then suddenly it's like, oh, hang on, Streets of Rage, I've not seen this one. There's
up, down, left, right, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D.
Get the notepad.
Yeah, I remember once, years ago, so I had the N64 when that came. Well, in fact, I had it before it came out because we got an American copy, but we had to send it up to London to get it to work. I bought one gaming magazine over Christmas with some Christmas money I had, and I couldn't have been luckier that every single game that I had, and I did have many because we had an American version, so I couldn't just go buy a game. Every game I had, it had all the cheats for all of them. I just couldn't believe it. I had like Wave Racer, Mario, GoldenEye, Hexen, Dark Rift. They were like the 5 main games that I had. Hexen, yeah, I mean, that game sucked balls, but when you got all the cheats, it became a whole different ball game. And yeah, I had the lot for all of them, including all of the fucking controls for Dark Rift, which was like a shit Street Fighter. Yeah, I kept that magazine. I probably looked after that better than any jazz mag that I had as a youth. Yeah, it was in pride of place. I think by the end of its life, it had no front cover anymore. Well, it did, but they weren't attached. Yeah, it just come off from like having to look up the cheats. But yeah, it was it was a different time, and I just don't understand why it's not there anymore. I mean, I suppose streaming's taken over, and you can just YouTube what you want to see, can't you?
That's it, the internet and everything like that, haven't you? But it used to be great, you know, and it was like reassuring. Like sometimes you get games which you just think this is so fucking mentally hard, and then you'd see other people struggling on the same bits, and it'd teach them how to get past it. And you'd be like, okay, other people are fucking here with me. Like,
yeah,
the struggle is real.
It was so weird though, wasn't it? It looked like it was set in a fucking post-apocalyptic prison. Everyone was like gathered around on the terraces looking down while they had like a battle off. And I remember, I don't know how much you used to watch this, but I remember watching an episode of it, and they had like 2 pro gamers had to do like a time trial on, I think it was a snowboarding game or something like that.
Yeah.
And the guy who's a pro gamer lost really badly. He like fell off the track instantly and just lost. And then he had this massive hissy fit, and he's like, well, it's bullshit really. I mean, the other guy knew how to play the game, and I've never played the game before in my life, so I'm still a pro gamer. I've just never played this one before. It's just really unfair. And just kept going on and on where he'd lost. I was just like, no, it was brilliant. That show was quality. We're watching reruns of that when I'm turning 80. Almost short. Poor Jeeves, it's beyond you. You're at the internet.
I was going to say, I'm assuming
some of it sounds familiar to me, but I don't. What is it called?
Games Master.
Games Master it's called. It had Patrick Moore, Sir Patrick Moore. I was going to say Patrick Stewart, but it's not Sir Patrick Stewart.
Oh my God, was it Patrick Moore?
Yeah.
I've been racking my brain. When he said it was like a renowned physicist, I was like, who the fuck was it? I can see his face. He looks like you. Just floating there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, Patrick Moore, that's who it was, yeah.
Yeah, probably never played a video game in his entire life, but still, it was brilliant as the Games Master. Yeah. Wow, that's fuck's sake. Yeah, that was a cool show. But yet, it doesn't really enter into my bucket list.
Well, no, that show itself doesn't enter into mine. It was more the haptic feedback suit and everything like that.
Yeah.
But
And
you say it was off. It can't be that far off because you've got like the new PlayStation controllers have got haptic response, haven't they? So like if you're drawing a bowstring, for instance, that you'll feel the tension in the joystick, and then when you release it, you'll feel the tension go and stuff like that. So
that's cool. That's very cool.
And you can buy haptic vests now with hit detection, so you can actually feel on. So it's not that far away. It's just the technology's there. We just need to tweak it now.
We need to make it smaller. That's the problem. It's like VR isn't. I find the problem with I've got the PlayStation VR and I've got a 4K TV, and I look at my 4K TV and I'm like, this is beautiful, and then I put the VR on and I'm like, it doesn't even feel like it's 1080p. It's like I can see pixels. I don't want to see fucking pixels. Which I know is like a proper first world problem thing, but yeah, I find it irritating. But yeah, I think it needs to get smaller. But I think it will come. I definitely think it will come. I think I thought we're more likely to get augments. So like glasses that you can see out and it will change what you see. So you'll just like have a dedicated cupboard that you go into.
Glasses.
Yeah, like you put a pair of glasses on. Okay, did you ever play a game Heavy Rain?
Contact lenses. That's where it's at. We're going futuristic here, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of people like touching their eyeballs, though, Mushu.
Matrix.
I'll touch people's eyes.
And just go around putting them in. Yeah.
Allow me.
Yeah, obviously, I don't know how contacts work because from what I just did there, I've either fingered somebody or poked their eyeball out, and I'm not sure which one at this point in time.
Maybe both.
A little bit of. Oh, actually, I've been talking about this a lot at work lately. Because
people or poking people's eyes out.
Wow, well, you will. If you let me finish, you will find out. So obviously, I'm being punished, so I'm not in my normal place. I'm in a different place because I was naughty and I damaged a van. Anyway. So I'm surrounded by what I describe as sportists, and they are, athletic, and they're in changing rooms and stuff. And one of them, won't name his name, Cole, he got fingered. And I keep telling him that is a sex crime and he has been molested. And I'm trying to get him to open up. He's like, it's fine. It's just like a bit of a laugh, isn't it? He's like, I had to let it happen, otherwise they keep on me. And I was like, that's not the attitude when a big man sticks his finger up your asshole. That is definitely a sex crime. Now, I know that none of us here are sportists, as I affectionately refer to these types of people, but that is wrong, isn't it? I'm not overreacting by being like, mate, you were physically molested.
What?
In a changing room.
It depends. This happened in a changing room.
Yes.
What is his name? Feel me cracking.
It is now. Where do you stand on it? If you joined a sport club and you were in the changing rooms and they kept on at you until they penetrated you, would you class that as some sort of sex crime, or would you just be like, "Oh, it's just a good-natured bit of fingering, innit? It's fine. Who cares?"
I think, and this is gonna be possibly a controversial way of looking at it. It depends how much I enjoyed it. I mean,
it's funny you should say that because that's more or less his reply. It was like, it was all right. I quite liked it.
Well, yeah. If it turns out, I mean, I'm not in any hurry to get fingered in a shower room, in a changing room. I just want to make that clear.
By a big builder's hand.
By anyone. No one is allowed to finger me at the minute, all right? There is no consent for that to happen. But if it happened and, it started going and I'm like, you know what?
Wiggle down on it.
It's not so bad. Yeah, I don't think I'd be that angry about it.
James, weigh in on this. Be the voice of reason, please.
You got the image of Andy turning around and fucking put some effort in.
Yeah. Is that one? Try two. At least spit on it first. Come on.
How does that even come about happening?
I don't know. I don't do the sports. So to me, this was alien. I was like, hang the fuck on. Your teammates fingered you. It's like, yeah, so what? Happens, doesn't it? Happens in the change room, stays in the change rooms. I was like, that attitude is a bit archaic, man. I mean, a lot of people have gone to prison off the back of that attitude.
Well, let's simplify it for you, Jeeves. Would you call the police?
No, but I would punch his fucking face. The guy come near me and fucking shoved his finger up my arse. He would be getting a few teeth missing.
Okay.
I don't think I would call the police, but I also don't think I would. Well, for one, that I would not be letting it happen. I mean, I think he was like, oh, all right then, I'll bend over, think of England. I think it's one of those things. I don't think he was like pinned down and gang raped. It's not like the that poem, The Seventh Rapist. I think it's just literally like, I'm going to finger you, and then he fingered him. But I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to get you.
Here we come. Danny's not home right now. Yeah. Danny, you dirty, dirty dog. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be going back to that sports club in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I'd probably avoid going back there. Well, again, I don't know. It could become a regular thing, couldn't it?
I mean, yeah, by the sounds of it, you look at all
Next week.
Football clubs.
Next week, Andy would be like, oh no.
You know what? I know what I'm like. I've got an addictive personality. I'd be there watching Neighbours like later on in the week. I'd be like, you know what? Might have to go down the old sports centre, get fingered quick.
Quick finger, please.
It just plays on my mind.
Bit of swimming, some badminton. Just a fingering, thanks.
I'll just chill out in the changing room until someone slips me a digit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, sorry. I can't even remember how I got onto that tangent, but it was it's been conversation at work quite a little bit lately. I keep bringing.
Hopefully not a confidential one.
Should have fucking told me. So, I mean, I'm just trying to help, just trying to raise awareness of the crimes that are happening all over the world.
Underground sports arse fingering rings that are going on.
I'm just not part of any kind of crazy clubs. Like, you've got politicians fucking pigheads. You've got footballers fingering one another as initiation things. I mean, maybe I'm jealous. Maybe I just want to be hazed.
Well, I might take a moment here, just briefly, because I don't understand shower. I've never been a sportist either.
No.
And I've not spent a lot of time in shower rooms. My childhood, growing up in the school, the changing rooms were not a place to be generally, because you just got fucking shit kicked out of you. So I was, it must have been a couple of years ago now. I was doing a Krav Maga lesson. And I've come out, and because my house was getting renovated, I had to shower there.
Yeah.
Work. And I've gone in with this guy called Ben. Ben, bless him, he's a lovely guy. He's an instructor now, but he's coming with me. He's ex-army. And I'm sort of there, and I was like, fuck, I thought 9 o'clock in the evening, it would be empty in this changing room, but this Ben's followed me in. So I'm like, oh, God. So I've whipped everything off, jumped in the shower, and I'm quite uncomfortable, yeah. And this Ben's walked in. He just stood there, looked at me, looked me up and down. Then his gaze has just rested on my cock. And I'm looking at him like, and he looked up at me. He's like, first time showering with another bloke. And it made me feel so cheap. I was like, am I that obvious? Am I that obviously sort of nervous? I was like, what do I do now? He's called me out on it as well. Do I suck him off? I mean, I don't know how this works. It was just.
I've got to ask Moochie, did you do that thing where you shake a bit of life into it before? You're just like, oh, Christ, can I see this? I don't want to be hard, but I don't want it to hide away.
Damn, he was like this beforehand.
No, like I say, I'm new to this. I've never done this sort of thing before. I'd never showered with a man. I don't know how to fluff yourself or whatever. So as far as he was concerned, it probably looked like I was trying to steam an acorn. It was, yeah.
Yeah, I hate it, mate. When I go to the gym, which obviously they're all shut now, and you wouldn't know it to believe that I ever went. I go swimming, so I shower after that because otherwise your fucking house smells like a fucking swimming pool forever. But it's weird that the changing rooms in the upstairs bit that's associated with the gym is that they've got a shower with no dressing room, and then it's just everything, and it's just cocks out everywhere. People are just fucking strutting and presenting themselves left, right, and centre, and I'm just like, put it away, mate. I mean, big deal, you're comfortable, but I don't want to see your fucking knob. I was like, oh, however, nice haircut. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too comfortable in my own body now.
Is it better when people are doing that and they're making you uncomfortable because they're strutting around naked to really point it out and be like, well, mate, you've not got a very big cock, have you? I was like, I'd cover that up if that's all I had. I mean, and also you could probably do it with a trim. I mean, if you were to trim the shaft a little bit, it'd look a bit longer. Just something like that. Yeah,
I think the best way, the way I sort of get past it is I treat all naked adults in changing rooms like they are naked children. I avert my gaze from them in every way, shape, or form. I treat them as non-entities. They are not there. They do not exist. That's the way I cope with it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say I just stare straight at their ghoulies.
This is when Andy's like tied up his shoelace. He's like, it's not there. It's not there. It's not there. It's not there. It's not there.
No, we used to have a shower block where I used to live. When I was in the police, we had I lived in a police accommodation, so it was like a massive dormitory block, like, or a hotel or something. But it had communal showers, and these showers had fucking glass divides, which used to really annoy me. Yeah, they're pointless. I mean, there was a slight frosting to them, but you could still see cock and balls quite easily.
Why? Sorry to cut you off. I just don't fucking get it.
No,
I mean, how hard is it to put a cubicle that's a metre longer where there's a curtain so you can get dressed in there, or at least put on a dressing gown or something, or a towel, or you've got the ability to have a towel that you can wrap around yourself. I mean,
if you're putting a glass divider between showers, basically what you're saying, the message you're getting across is you can look but don't touch. Which is a weird message to be getting across in a shower block, right?
It's a COVID protection, isn't it? That's what that's there for.
But this shower block, though, so I used to obviously use it for showers daily.
Showers.
But the cleaner on our block, on our floor, bless her, her name was Doopy, this lovely old African lady, and she'd come along and she'd knock, and every time I was in the shower, she'd knock. She'd be like, "Anyone in?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, Doopy, I'm in here." She'd be like, "Okay," and then come in and clean.
She's like, "Oh, I said it before."
And I'm just there, I'll just clean myself with one hand then and hold my cock with the other.
Mate, you wanted you.
And it's like, why are you asking? Why are you asking if anyone's in? I mean, what happens if no one's in? Do you just go, or are you here purely to look at the D? I don't know. But it's really hard having a shower and she's mopping around with you. I tell you what, there's no fluffing up that. That it's just like, I'm going.
It looks like an oak tree. There's acorns everywhere.
This shit, I'm out.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't get it. I don't understand why the shower rooms in the swimming pool have the room to get changed, but the showers in the changing rooms are a shower and then just a big open space full of cocks. I mean, ladies, if you're watching it, if you want to see some cock, get yourself into the male changing rooms. They're everywhere.
I think so. Changing rooms for me, it's exactly the same principle. You know, even if I was gay, I think I'd find it all a bit much.
Andy, have you had an influx of dick pics?
Please stop sending them, okay?
Unbelievable.
That was very Matthew Kelly, stars in their eyes.
Tonight, Matthew, I will be chilly. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, so I think that's it, pretty much me done for my bucket lists.
What, you want to see a load of dicks in Alaska?
And when you
play around with pump
action, it may have got lost in translation.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Well, look, mine's easy because it's mostly the same as Mushu's, except I would like to do all 50 states of America on a massive, great road trip. And somewhere along the lines, I will get pie from a diner. I want to stay in a sleazy motel. In fact, I want to stay in a bunch of sleazy motels. Just along the way. I want to do all 50 and end up in Alaska.
On that subject, with the States, have you ever heard of the Sunshine Trail? The Sunshine Trail? The Sunshine? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the Sunshine Trail. Or something along those lines.
The Sunshine Trail, isn't that the bike ride route on the Isle of Wight?
Is it? What's it called then? There's I can't remember. Yes, it might be that. Why am I yeah, not to be mixed up with the cycle route from Shanklin to Brading or whatever it is.
What did you say, Sam?
Musha, I have heard of the Appalachian Trail, and I kind of like the idea of doing that, but I don't know if I'll be able to do it because it's a beast. It's like walking. So, Jeeves, I don't know if you know it or not. Instead of going left to right, it's basically going from like south to north, isn't it? You start at the bottom and you walk your way up.
No, I was looking at the left to right one that goes along it literally goes along the southern border of the US, pretty much through all the states there.
Yeah, I don't think that's the Appalachian Trail then. But yeah, there are a couple of trails. That I think is a bit too long for me because it's massive.
Yeah, but it's bucket material, isn't it? And,
and you're talking about hiking it, like the way people do it. Now, Bill Bryson did a book about that, didn't he? Was it Bill Bryson? Bill Bryson does the travel books, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't think it was the one that you're talking about. I think it's the Appalachian Trail. And I saw two movies, one of which was the film version of the Bill Bryson book, whose name totally escapes me. And then there was another one who I can't remember what that was fucking called either. It had a woman in it. This is good. This is good. This is quality production. This is. I wasn't expecting to talk about it, in all fairness. Otherwise, I'd have previously looked it up.
No, that's fair enough.
And it's about a woman who's going through a troubled time in her life, and she walks the Appalachian Trail, and she's not properly kitted out, but by the end of it, she's really good, blah, 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 blah. But it was incredible, and I love the idea of doing that, but I'm not sure I could do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I'd like to give it a go. I've always been all right with just walking. Like, I don't like running, I don't like anything like that, but walking I can do.
It's got to be said, I can walk. I mean, walking is one thing I can actually do, but walking for 3 months straight. I like the challenge of it.
Have you ever seen the video on YouTube or any of the videos? I'm sure there's more than one, but I know there's one person who's done a time lapse video from the start to the finish of one of those trails.
That's cool.
And it literally, it's just beautiful. In the space of 5 minutes, you're going through like forests to mountains to desert to like jungle almost to swamp, fucking snow. You get literally everything on the way. I think that would be really worthwhile.
Well, particularly with the Appalachian one, I can't speak for the Sunshine one, but I imagine that's the one that takes the border of Mexico the whole way. It makes sense, with it being hot, is you go so far up, it gets super fucking cold. If you plan that wrong and you end up there in the middle of winter, that could get brutal really fucking quickly. I mean, it takes a snowstorm when you're up a mountain you die essentially.
Well, this is the problem with British people going abroad, isn't it? Because a lot of us, we're just like, we're going to, I don't know, Newfoundland or something like that in Canada. It's snowy there. It's going to be a bit chilly. I'll take my outdoor coat. We're not really,
socks, I'll be all right.
We're not really built for the outdoors, are we?
Is there anything like that in England? Is there from the West Country to Scotland route that people take?
Well, you've got John O'Groats to Land's End, haven't you?
Do you know what? They are the exact places that I couldn't think of. Thank you, Mushu. Is that something people like to, do a pilgrimage fairly often?
I think a lot of people do it for charity and stuff like that, don't they?
I don't know.
But the thing is, I
doesn't seem exciting.
In this country.
No, we could walk along the side of a road all the time.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of wild land in our country, is there?
No.
Whereas those, it's the ass end of nowhere for most of it. It's all through public national forests or whatever they're called over there.
You
Public
think of the
land.
photos or the videos from that whole experience, you're going to get, it's going to look like a worldwide trip because you get all of the different biomes.
Yeah. Fuck it. I'm going to stick that in my bucket list.
Yeah, me too.
Appalachian Trail. I think that'd be a fun one.
Are you getting any little glimmers of stuff you want to add to your bucket list yet? Or are you still just stuck on your driving?
Tell you what, actually, I would quite like to go to New Zealand.
Ah, yeah. Good.
Do the Lord of the Rings sets and stuff like that.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. New Zealand. New Zealand. I've got some friends who spent quite a bit of time over there. They said it's an incredible place to live. And what's worse is they said that they could have stayed there as well. They were invited, that they would be sponsored, and they could have got, so they could basically move out there. And then they came back, and I was like, guys, why did you come back? I mean, and
a job in New Zealand.
You what? Sorry,
I have been offered a job in New Zealand.
Oh,
why wouldn't you take it?
Snap, jinx.
Just no.
One of my best mates in high school lives out there, and he offered me a job as a labourer over there.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. I mean, why don't you take it? You're still youngish. You haven't got long though before it starts getting difficult to get visas. They want all the young virile people over there. They don't want the fucking smacked out old people. Smacked out's probably a bit harsh.
That's Australia. New Zealand is a little bit easier to get into.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
I have passed the date to do New Zealand, Australia.
That's a shame.
But she's got her head on. She's got her head screwed on, isn't she? The New Zealand Premier. I can't remember her name. But she's very switched on.
Yeah, they fucking banked Roro down, didn't they?
Oh, locked it down straight away, mate. And their cases are fucking minuscule.
Did they close their borders though? I know they closed it, but I don't know if they stopped imports and exports and tourists coming in. Because if they did, which is what I always thought we should have done, is if we closed borders a lot fucking quicker, then, a 2-week lockdown with nobody coming into the country, probably could have had that shit licked.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it seemed a fairly simple. It seemed like a fairly simple solution.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it is, but also so is common sense. I mean, if you're going to lock people down for 3 months, why not just stop people coming into the fucking country? Again, it seems simple to me, but I'm not a worldwide leader. In case you're wondering. What's the time? How are we getting on?
10 to 10.
Yeah, we're probably looking about wrapping up, I would have thought, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't really have a huge amount else on my bucket list. I mean, again, most of it's been said. I wouldn't mind trying to do a little bit of racing, like what Jeeves said. Mushu, everything you said, I'm well on board with. I genuinely am. They seem like fucking great days out.
Yeah,
well, a lot of them.
What we'll do is we'll put. I think we haven't addressed any comments, as we haven't given anyone any notice that this is what we're doing, but do stick some comments out, give us some more ideas for bucket lists and stuff like that, stuff that you want to do. If you comment on whatever, you can comment on Podbean, you can comment on Spotify and all of that sort of stuff.
We can always revisit it and do a viewers special.
Oh, definitely. I reckon there's some brilliant ones out there. I'm thinking of a couple of the people who comment regularly, and I'd love to hear what they have to say on the matter.
Yeah, okay. So chuck some ideas into us. Once we've got enough, we'll do a bucket list part 2.
Yeah, your bucket list. We'll call that one. But yeah, till then, should we wrap this up then, guys?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, listening.
We'll see you next week.